dura abatio. Awio. Amoyeo. She speaks to present Pambata Press.
Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Joy from She Speaks To. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. How you doing? How your mama doing? How's everybody? I know I've been away for a while. I am going to attempt to be more consistent in making videos, but life be lifing and you get what you get. But I'm going to really try because this She Speaks To YouTube is a passion of mine. It's been a baby of mine since 2020. So I am going to do better, my people. I'm going to do better. I missed you guys. I hope you watched the video. I hope you watch until the end. Don't watch for 2 minutes and think you got everything. Watch until the end. I'm begging you. All right, so this video is about travel to Liberia. My cousin, in the summertime, I think August, booked a flight to Liberia where he was only going to be on the ground for 7 days. He wanted to explore Liberia. He wanted to go to Cape Mount, to Nana's Lodge. He wants to keep adding counties under his belt to visit. I think eventually he wants to visit every county, but he's doing it as he can come. Because you know, we in America, we're working. We can't go to Liberia all the time. So he wants to keep adding counties. So he traveled to Brussels last Sunday, and he was boarded on the flight from Brussels to Liberia last Sunday. He got on the plane. By all accounts, everything was fine. Boarded the plane. An hour into the flight, they canceled the flight to Liberia and turned the plane around. So total time in air was 2 hours. So we have people going to Sierra Leone. We have people going to Liberia. Because if you didn't know, the flight to Liberia stops in Sierra Leone first. People get off. Liberians don't get off. Then it goes on to Liberia. So cancel the flight. Now he has to go stand in the Brussels line to figure out what's going on. So he's in the Brussels line. I think he said a total of 3 hours because of course everybody is in the line trying to figure out. So mind you, he's supposed to land Sunday night, 7 days on the ground, leave the following Saturday. So he's at the Brussels line trying to figure out what's going on. He finally gets his turn, gets up there. They say, we can book you for a flight on Wednesday. And he was like, if I get there on Wednesday, then I'm there Wednesday, Friday, I leave Saturday. He was like, no. He was like, we got to do better. So they could have booked him. They found one that left to land on Tuesday. So he would have had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then of course Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, because the flight doesn't leave until 10 something in the evening. I really don't count the day of flight as a day that I can do anything because I'm always packing, I'm weighing things, I'm stressed out. I know some people who go out to eat, they do stuff, they run around Monrovia, do the last minute thing. That whole day, I'm in solitary confinement. I'm packing, I'm weighing, I'm taking things down, doing this. So they said they could book him to land Tuesday. So he would have had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and like I said, Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, if you're an adventurous person, if you don't mind getting out. So he thought, that's not that bad. He ended up not taking the flight, and he ended up coming home for various reasons and coming back to his family. So I'm going to tell you the 3 lessons that I learned from this mishap. All right, so the first lesson that I learned is that, and I've always thought this, but this reinforced it. My first lesson is that you need minimum of 10 to 14 days in Liberia. If you can stay longer, that is great. But he had planned on getting his passport, his Liberian passport, because he's a Liberian citizen. He had planned on doing so many things that he wouldn't have been able to do in the 3 to 4 day time span. So it reinforced to me, I've always thought that you have to be, if you're traveling to Liberia is not Cancun, where I can do plenty of things in 3 to 4 days in Cancun. I can go to the Bahamas for 4 days and enjoy myself fine. Liberia is not like that. For some reason, we move slower. It takes longer to do things. So minimum for me, and I'm telling y'all who like to travel, minimum 10 to 14 days. And that's pushing it. 2 weeks, if you have a tolerance for Liberia that can that at 2 weeks, that's your threshold, then 2 weeks is perfect. Because some people can't do Liberia more than 2 weeks and they're ready to come back, and I don't blame them. So 10 to 14 days, because had he had more days and they had eaten at least 3 of his days, he would still have had time. But because of how they could book him, how they could do this, they were going to book him for first landing on Wednesday, then he did Thursday, Friday, then he leaves Saturday. Then they said, okay, we can land you on Tuesday. Then he would have Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. What can you do in Liberia? It take you that long to get down Waterside from Peaceville. It take you 3 days to drive from Waterside to Peaceville. Kidding. So anyway, so that was what happened to him, and we felt horrible. The whole family, everyone felt horrible. Trip was wasted. Of course, he's going to come back and get refunded on a lot of things, but he had taken time off from work. So that reinforced that you need a minimum of 10 to 14 days when you're traveling to Liberia, because that country there, it hard. Liberia hard to learn. The next thing that, next lesson that I learned from this was always have extra money, because of course, Brussels is going to refund you if you don't choose to take their route and you choose to go back. But it takes time. It can take up to 3 weeks to get your refund, or longer. And sometimes you have to fight for that refund. So always have extra money in case, let's say you are going for a wedding or a funeral, or you are going for a speaking engagement and this happened. You need to be able to book something. And they had other flights that he could have taken. There was one that would have gone to like, I think Ethiopia, from Ethiopia to this place to Liberia. So there were other flights, but they were upwards in the like thousands, 1,200. So always have extra money. You don't know when these mishaps would happen. So you can have the money on the front end, purchase your new ticket, and then fight with these people on the back end to get your refund. But you don't get your refund immediately. So that reinforced, always come with extra money. Know what you're doing. And that's just with any travel. Always have extra. Don't go with what you just think you need. Have extra for emergency. Of course, he had extra. He could have done that, but why? Why do all of that when it wasn't looking good? So my last point ties into this point. Why do all of that when it's looking like this? It's looking like this trip is not meant to be. For a plane to be mid-air going an international flight, and for the people to turn that plane around, it's not meant to be. It's not meant to be. For me, it's not meant to be. There's a lesson in that. Don't force it. Turn around. We don't know what you are going to meet up with in Liberia. Why? Because I have traveled extensively to Liberia since 2020. I have never been mid-air on a flight or a plane that says we're turning back around. We have issues. And they ended up telling him that it was mechanical issues. I've never been on a flight that has happened. So yeah, so the third lesson is don't force it. If it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel like you should move forward, and that's with anything in life. With your marriage, we're getting married, we're getting boyfriend, with friendship, we're taking a job, moving out of the country, moving to a different state. If it doesn't feel right, don't force it. You don't know what God is protecting you from. So those are my 3 points. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will try to be more consistent. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure this reading my mouth. Let me try again. This is Joy from She Speaks Too. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, and make sure you subscribe. And I will see you later.
I will see you later.